Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, I'm Ray.
It's Matt.
And we're here tonight with Luke Trembath, also known as the Dingo. How you doing tonight, dude?
I'm doing good, boys. It's raining ash where I am.
Oh, jeez.
And where exactly are you at right now?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, awesome.
Sunny
yeah.
Los Angeles.
Right. You got a lot of fires going on right now there.
Oh yeah, that's right. How close are you to those fires?
Yeah. 7,200 fires burning right now. I was
Jesus
up camping
Christ.
last weekend, up by Yosemite, and we basically got smoked out. And then I got home, and it's still smoking.
Holy shit!
You can see it all here right now. It's pretty gnarly. It kind of like yesterday, it felt like we were kind of living on Mars.
Holy shit! Now, are you close to that, or are you kind of a ways away from?
Close to the fires here in LA. I think they're a couple valleys back. I just think because there's so much burning, the smoke makes its way down here. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I think probably like a couple hours away from any actual fire.
Now, being a pro snowboarder, living in California, does that kind of mess with you a little bit? You're so used to being in the snow and being in the cold, and then you live in California. Does that tend, when you go out, snowboard, do your thing, when you come back and it's just hot weather all the time, does that kind of mess with you every so often?
I mean, kind of. There's like mountains here where we can snowboard, like Mammoth and Big Bear, and I guess it does. I think I'm just used to it. I'm like used to going from hot to cold. It's after you spend so much time in the winter, it's nice to be able to come home and put some shorts and a tank top on.
Right.
And well, we say now you came to America from Australia at the age of 14, and we understand that you did that because of your snowboarding. What exactly was it? Did a big sponsor come to you, say, hey, do you want to come over? How exactly did that transition happen? And how was it going from Australia to the United States?
Man, it was like a compilation of things, Like I grew up in a small beach town in Australia, and my father grew up skiing and snowboarding in a mountain called Mount Buller. My older brother was into skiing, and I don't know, I got on a snowboard when I was like 6. I grew up around the snow, and I was just super good at it, By the time I was like 9 or 10, I was like winning national championships. I had an opportunity to come to America and compete. I came to America and competed, and then actually went to a Junior Worlds competition in France where I met the head snowboard coach of the U.S. snowboard team, Mike Mellon. And at that time, I met a guy named Danny Cass and Lane Kanak, who were from America, who I eventually end up spending a lot of time with, and I came and trained with the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club in 2000, and it was kind of crazy. Like, my mom came with me for the first 9 months. She sold everything she had, and literally came over and cleaned houses. She was a house cleaner at Steamboat Springs, while, kind of putting a roof over our heads and doing what we do. I had sponsorship through Oakley at the time. Okay. And I had a lifelong relationship with them, basically. So that was the brand that kind of helped me out in the beginning. And then Mom had to go home that 2001, and then I ended up sleeping on couches for a couple of years while going to home, while doing homeschool in Mammoth and trying to, do the pro snowboarder thing. And that was kind of when Grenade kicked off, and it all it went from sleeping on couches to, I mean, I still sleep on couches now, but I don't need to.
Now, you mentioned going to school. How was it? Did people, I guess when you were in school, you were doing the snowboard thing. Did people know who you were when you were in school? Were they like, oh man, Luke,
Man, when I was in high school, I did Steamboat Springs, the public school, and I was just a random Australian kid. It wasn't until I was probably in homeschool that kids would have then recognized who I was, but I wasn't going to a regular school then. Fun fact, I didn't finish high school either, so yeah. I didn't. I got to about 10th grade.
Oh, I mean, it seems like you didn't need it.
Yes, no, I wasn't very good at counting. I'm still not very good at counting.
Don't feel bad. I can't math, so.
Yeah, fuck Kevin.
Yeah. And you mentioned Oakley. What are some of the sponsors you've had? Well, we know you have a big thing going with Monster Energy. Almost everything we see with you, you're wearing the Monster hat, Monster shirts, all that. What are some of the sponsors you had, and what are the perks of having those sponsors?
Yeah, listen, I got pretty lucky. I had like lifelong relationships pretty much with Oakley, and Monster came into the picture, I think, around 2005. And they were pretty small back then relatively to what it is now. I kind of grew with that brand. I had some I'm a partner in an underwear company called Ethica, and that kind of started a long time ago. And, that's kind of grown into its own thing. I did like a Garnier Fructis hair commercial like in 2006. That was probably like one of the weirdest deals I did. But, that deal led me to the AMAs, which is the Australian Film Association, whatever it is. But because of that deal with Garnier Fructis and L'Oreal, I literally got sat at this table next to Heath Ledger and all these crazy Australian actors. And from a young age, I was surrounded by people from different industries that were leaders, and I've been fortunate enough to take those relationships and grow those relationships. So I'd say Garnier is probably, the hair one's probably the weirdest commercial to see a billboard or a TV commercial. With yourself. But yeah, endemic, pretty, the perks, I don't know, they pay you money. They give you free shit. I'm 34 now. I don't really care about the free stuff anymore.
Right. Now, Monster, have they given you is it at the point, and I know they're your sponsor, but is it at the point that you see Monster and you're like, oh man, I've drank so much of this that you just kind of look in your fridge and you're like, oh man, I have more Monster in here. And here's the thing with Monster, do you do with Monster what a lot of people do with Red Bull? Do you mix it with stuff? Do you mix it with vodka, make vodka bombs, all that with Monster? Is that just as good?
This one right here.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Now, what do you think your favorite mix with Monster is? What's your liquor of choice mixed with Monster?
I don't know. Probably Tito's.
Good old Tito.
Tito's low carb. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So you've been snowboarding for a long time now. What about your snowboarding injuries and stuff? Have you sustained? I'm sure there's a lot. I mean.
Yeah, I can't straighten that elbow.
Oh shit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Lots of wrists, chest. I never did any knee damage, but I've broken this arm 3 times, this arm a couple times, my wrist. You kind of with injuries, especially in our industry or anything, you don't want to tear stuff. Ligaments, ligaments are not good. Bones are good. Bones repair pretty quickly. So I've been pretty lucky that I tore a bunch of the ligaments in my left ankle, but I've never tore the ligaments in my knees or anything like that. So I've been fortunate that I've broken a bunch of bones, but bones repair pretty quick.
And yeah, it's actually pretty funny, and I bring this up a lot, and people who are local who listen to this and people who listen to it throughout the world, they know by now. I did pro wrestling for 21 years, and we're roughly around.
I couldn't have picked it.
And
we're like did much wrestling though.
Yeah, and we're pretty much the same age, and I look at it like that too. It's I've actually managed to avoid breaking bones and all that, but my knees, ankles, all that, they're so fucked. Every morning I get up and just something hurts, and it's Jesus. So now with that, have you ever had where you've had your snowboard actually break from underneath you? Does that ever happen?
Man, snowboards do break. You got to snowboard pretty fucking hard for it to break. There's some people that break snowboards a lot. I've maybe broken one snowboard. It's pretty tough. It's not like skateboards, But right. I've broken a snowboard. But yeah, I know a few people that some of the bigger boys. It's you come down wrong. You just you snap snowboards. But yeah, not as much as skateboards. It's pretty rare that you an average person ain't breaking a snowboard, that's for sure.
And with that, do you get your own custom snowboards done up? And if you do, what was your favorite or most intricate design you've had on a
Well, it's
snowboard?
kind of funny. Like, I had one pro model snowboard, and I got fortunate at that, and I basically bit my best friend. So Danny Cass had a pro model with canoe snowboards for like 10 years. Monster came to me and was like, hey, we want to do a pro model snowboard with you. So I was like, just take his snowboard, the exact same. So it was like camber, and it had like the edges, and what is that called? Magnetrax? It had the Magnetrax and the banana. And I literally took his board. They sent me the graphics. I made a couple friends just drew texture on it like I stole it. And then that went to the actual manufacturer, so it looked like I just stole his snowboard, but it was my pro model.
That's great. That's great. And speaking of Danny, you guys had your own show, Danny and the Adventures of Danny and Dingo. You guys went, I believe it was 5 seasons with that show. How was all that with the cameras following you guys around all the time? Were you guys kind of used to it?
Like, it was my idea. He never wanted to do it. He was a 2-time Olympic silver medalist, and we had the company Grenade, and he was a pretty shy person. He's a very funny person, but he never wanted to do it, and it was something that I always wanted to do. And we'd been around like some of the guys that created Jackass and like some of these other things, and like that people were trying to get me into television early. Like I did my first appearance on MTV when I was 18, and had done these other like spin-off shows. And around Dick and Jeff Tremaine and these guys, and after Danny won his second Olympic silver medal, he's like, all right, like I'll give you a shot. So he started taking meetings with these networks, and he basically just did it because I wanted to do it. He never wanted to. It's like I'll be the. Yeah. But we did the one season, and it took off, and for us it was like a couple of things. We had Grenade at the time, so we were able to market our brand and product. Mm-hmm. We were able to bring Monster to the main stage. And it was really around like Viva La Bam and these guys were like the first people, and Dick were the first people to take like our industry and put it on mainstream television, right? Because you'd never seen like Element or these companies or DC or these companies mainstream market, but they're being marketed through these TV shows to the direct audience. So like we kind of like, I saw the blueprint, and Danny, it took me a while, but like once he said yay and the gates opened, it really just worked. Our relationship, the way that we cut play off camera. Listen, like it's, we're 20 years later, and if you're hanging out with us, we still act like that. You know what I mean? It's I'm the little brother type style, and he's the authority and the guy that that has some real fucking things attached to him, and since a young age, we met presidents and did these things you're not supposed to do, and like in like 2006, like 2002 was when he won his first Olympic silver medal in Park City. That was America's first sweep in 52 years on any podium of the Olympics, right? So it was a big deal. We met George Bush and all these things. And then between 2002 and 2006 came corporate. Shaun White won his first Olympic gold medal in 2006 in Italy. Danny got second. The next thing you know, like corporate's banging on our door. We did Boost Mobile deals. The Monster thing had taken off. And we were doing – corporate America was like, hey, we're fucking in. And we were the group of kids that benefited from that. And I don't think we changed. Do we sell out? I mean, everyone's a fucking sellout now. It's like, you don't sell out. You're working at Starbucks. You know what I mean? It's a fact. Yeah. We were some of the first group of people to essentially take those big checks. People like, oh, you do this, do that, and I'm still the same person. I'm still the same person I am. We were able to take these corporate brands and make them cool and still maintain who we are, and I think that's super important.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I mean us, like we're just regular guys. But I understand what you're saying. If someone came to us tomorrow and they're like, "Hey, we're going to give you all this money, do your podcast this way," we're going to be like, "Okay." Like, why would you say no?
I know you guys are pretty good at what you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you guys have been in it for a minute. It's like, look at Joe Rogan, man. Like Joe Rogan worked his ass off, right? Started however many years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years, whatever it is. Fucking judge all these deals down. Spotify gets $100 million deal, right? And Spotify's like all of a sudden like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And he's like, I've been doing this the whole time. And now he's got the pressure of the deal, but that's it. It's he worked his ass off. Everything he did that's why he got paid $100 million. Not what he's gonna do now or next. He's already done it. It's like Howard Stern. Howard Stern had already done Howard Stern before SiriusXM took off. SiriusXM needed Howard Stern to become that powerhouse, right? Howard Stern didn't need them. So he got paid fucking $100 million a year by SiriusXM, whichever the one he's now suing, the kind of thing. But like, the Spotify is the new SiriusXM. Everyone's always been like, who's going to be the next Howard Stern? It's fucking Joe Rogan. But Joe Rogan, the reason he got paid that is because he did what he did before that deal. Now he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is that. Yeah.
No,
There's no way to argue with that.
that's pretty solid. Yeah. So I also wanted to ask. So you've been snowboarding for so long. What's your favorite place to snowboard at?
Man, it kind of ums and ahs. Like, you know, I grew up in Mammoth, so I say Mammoth. Heliboard in Alaska, I say Alaska. I spend a lot of time in Aspen now, so I say Aspen.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever it's fucking snowing.
Yeah.
And out of everything you've done,
not Mountain High.
out of all
You
the,
guys in Washington or New York?
we're in Baltimore.
You're in Baltimore, so
Yeah.
Washington.
Yeah. So DC pretty much, yeah.
DC's close.
Yeah.
We'd be there about 40 minutes.
Out there?
We do have a couple mountains. I think we have Ski Liberty and Ski Round Top. So we have those that are down near us. It's starting to get a little cold here now, but the mountains that it's one of those mountains. Let's see, what is it? Frederick County, I think. There's a lot of mountains out in Frederick County and all that. But not really like really good snowy mountains. Like, you know, we don't have like, yeah.
No good snowy mountains.
Yeah. It's you go to different parts of Virginia down this way, and you see like nothing but greenery. You see nothing but trees. It's mountains, but it's all trees. And I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, man, you know, this would be beautiful during the winter. You know, see all that there, everything covered in snow. But yeah, I mean, we have mountains that have snow, but most of the time, unless it's during the winter, they pump the snow in, and it's just kind of that artificial snow type gimmick that they have. So. But yeah, no great place around here to do anything like that. And speaking of snow and ice, we did see online, we did see the TMZ video of you destroying the ice sculpture. What happened?
There's no video footage of me destroying the ice sculpture.
What happened that made you destroy the ice sculpture? Why did the ice sculpture have to pay?
I don't know. You know what? It's like one of those things in life where I don't know, you guys have been there, you know,
Yeah.
Like you're all hyped and excited, and something goes wrong, and
Yeah.
you kick a $10,000 ice sculpture over, and you don't see like what they don't show is that like they were super mean to me before the video footage, you know, they treated me, tracked me across the ground, did all those things, and whatever video appeared, and. You know, that was like a low point in my life. You know, I said some things I totally regret. You know, I said some words I totally like shouldn't have, and I feel bad. And you know, I got some death threats from that. You know, like
really,
yeah.
Oh man.
But the funny thing, like I had like a weird relationship with my father, and I didn't see my father for some time. And my father hit me up 9 months after that happened, just to make sure I'm okay. And I was like, Dad. Over 9 months ago, he's like, son, you know, now that people know who you are, you know, you've got to be careful about what you do. I'm just, you know, letting you know. And I was like, Dad, that would be nice if you fucking had called me 9 months ago when that happened.
It's like, yeah, thanks for the call now.
Checking in, big. It's not something I'm proud of. It's something I learned from. I made my apologies. I did what I did. To be honest, I think it was a boring week in entertainment that week because obviously not much happened because I got splattered all over. It was on E! News. It was the Daily 10. It was obviously a boring week in entertainment that week.
Yeah, and I always say with videos like what you said, like they showed what they showed. I say this a lot, and this happens a lot nowadays when you see videos. I call them one-side videos. Like, you know, it's the kind of thing that you see a video, and I always sit there and I'm like, well, what did the person do to initiate this? Like, you know, somebody's recording something, and you're like,
I was presenting.
Yeah. It's like, well, what the hell happened before all of this? Because that's the thing. It's like someone's going to rouse somebody up, and they're going to be like, all right, let me turn my cell phone camera on and record this action. And it's just kind of fucked up because it's like, okay, now everybody in the world is seeing just this one thing, and that's what they're going to believe. And it's like, you know, why don't you record the whole thing? How about everybody gets the whole truth instead of just, you know, this half truth?
Yeah,
you know,
that's a problem with a lot of cameras and shit nowadays. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. You know, cameras are everywhere.
That was people had camera phones then, but social media wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And people spin the truth however they want it. It's
and
bullshit.
With all this, what do you think after all the places you've snowboarded? What do you think some of the more fun and bigger parties have been afterwards? Like, what do you think where you can recall, like, you guys just sat down and just fucking tore up? Like, you were like, yes, this went off great. Let's just, have a few drinks and just have a blast.
Man, that's fun about life.
I was gonna say, like, yeah.
We did the Teleski and Snowboard Festival in Whistler, and that was like, that went from like, we created an event called Grenade Games, which started out as an event we did like with extracurricular before, certain things, and it was like the boys just hanging out, kind of smoking and doing things, and it kind of grew into something, and Monster was a title sponsor, and then the Teleski and Snowboard Festival was like, hey guys, why don't you like partner with us? So the next thing you know, we were like this small, tiny little, core event. The next thing you know, we're giving away $100,000 in prize money, giving away fucking cars.
Holy shit,
and there's 100,000 people there, and we're like, shit, that's us. So I think, I think Whistler's probably been the best spot for us to do that, and to be like, shit, like, to come from where we came from and then to be at an event like that where there's hundreds of thousands of people and millions and millions of dollars involved in it, and people are like, oh no, that's those guys' event, and it's me and Danny.
Have you had any event that you've been asked to do, come in, like, for example, you did the award show where you presented. Have you ever had an event where someone asked you to come in and it just kind of blew your mind, like you were just kind of like, holy shit, I'm gonna get to be a part of this? Is there anything that you've had where you were like, oh fuck?
That's the MTV Awards. I presented the MTV Awards in 2015 or 16, and I presented with Rebel Wilson and Kelly Osbourne, and that was like that was different. I'll never forget, because I did rehearsals and I had these like shitty shorts on and this like tank top and the same hat, the exact same hat I'm wearing now. And I said to the producer, I was like, no, I'll wear a suit tomorrow. And he's like, no, you're fine the way you are. So I presented it. I opened the show, and then they walked me in. They walked me into the award show, and it's me, Jared Leto, Scooter Braun. And
holy
like,
shit!
They're gonna walk you in now. And I opened the show, and I walk in, and it's all the Kardashians, Kanye, all these people are staring at me, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm supposed to be here."
and plus, with the MTV, with the MTV Awards, there's always just so many different stars there. Like, you never know who you're gonna bump into. Yeah.
It's like, and I met some friends now, like Kevin, the bassist from Walk the Moon. I met at that show, and me and him are still cool today. I go to his house in Indiana and hang out, and like, there are the ones that are megastars where you're like, oh, cool, nice to meet you, and maybe I'll never see you again. And then there are people that are just like you, that are genuine people that, are talented at their music like I was snowboarding, and they're pretty normal, you know what I mean? It's like, there's the megastars, you got the Biebers and the Miley Cyruses, and it's cool to meet and be around those people where they're a little different too,
Yeah.
Well, like, I'm cool with him, but like, a lot of those other people, I'm just like, cool, whatever.
And do you think that there be any way in the world that somebody could possibly get a DUI while on a snowboard? Like, we hear stories of someone getting a DUI on
Riding a bike.
Yeah, riding a bike, bicycle, or on a lawnmower.
Lawnmowers.
100%. Think about this, though. If you're like going down a mountain, you guys have been to a mountain, right? Like, like going down a mountain, like, as you're like the trail, like it's snowing, and you're snowboarding, you're fucking drunk, and you're snowboarding down the road. Yeah. And it pulls over, and you're wasted. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you get a DUI.
True. And here's the thing: have you ever snowboarded while intoxicated? Like, what is that like? Like, is everything just kind of like, oh man, like, you're
it's not good. It's snowboarding drunk will usually lead to an injury.
Yeah.
That's like 101. You're probably gonna get hurt.
And with any of that, we talk about a lot of your parties and all that stuff. Have any extracurricular activities ever happened on any of those mountains or in the snow itself?
Yeah.
That was the best reaction ever.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, imagine that though. Like, you're sitting there, and it's what? Let's say on the mountain, it's what, 15 degrees and all that, and you've had a lot to drink, and see, it's different though because your body's so heated up at that point. Like, your body, you have a lot of alcohol in you and all that. It's keeping you warm, and we're gonna We saw something about you also hanging out with Ireland Baldwin. How that? What was all that about? Were you guys just friends, or what was it with Ireland
This
Baldwin?
is recent, right?
I think
we're cool. We're so cool now. Like, no, that was like 5 years ago. Like all the stuff that you see in the papers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like 5 years ago. Like we're cool. We're still cool now. It's like, it's kind of funny though. Like her mom's Kim Basinger, and I'm very close with Kim.
Yeah.
Her dad's obviously Alec Baldwin. Alec would call me and FaceTime me. He would only speak to me in an Australian accent.
Yeah. And Luke, what we're gonna do real quick is we got a card game that we normally do, and then we're gonna let you go ahead and get out of here. Pretty much, we're gonna add in a new one. Normally, we do Cards Against Humanity, which we're gonna do. It's called Ode to Humanity. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read you off the blackface card, and then I'm gonna give you 6 options, and you pick which one you think best describes what the blackface card is. So,
okay, cool.
Pretty much, this one is, why did the chicken cross the road? None of your damn business. Corn. The beautiful backpacks of JanSport. Denying climate change. Prison. Or Jeremy and his stupid, annoying, dumb, hard, beautiful body.
Jeremy and his stupid, dumb, annoying, hot body.
And then Matt, what we're gonna do too is we have a new game that we're gonna add to, and that's Never Have I Ever. And pretty much, if any of us have ever done this, we'll just sit there and kind of do like a round table of how we actually got into that situation.
Okay, so it is Never Have I Ever been reprimanded by hotel security.
What do we put our hand up? Do we drink? What do we do? We just
Well, I've definitely been reprimanded by hotel security. So
surprisingly,
Yeah.
I never have.
no, really.
Nope. I've been detained by the police, but
hanging out in hotels that don't have security.
Mine. We have an area here. We have Ocean City, Maryland, and this was shit. This was probably 2006, 2007, maybe. We're sitting there, and me and my boys were all drunk. We're completely smashed on the boardwalk. We come up to the big, huge group of chicks that we take back to the hotel. So we take back to the hotel. We're drunk. We're being obnoxious, and They had a security guard there, and they had one of those old-time elevators where you lift the handle, and he had to like lift the handle to take us up. So he sat there, and he's like, "You guys are too drunk. The girls have to leave. They can't go up to your room." We're like, "What the fuck do you mean they have to leave? Like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, we've been partying with them for hours." So pretty much, he goes to lift the thing up, and midway through, I slam the thing down, and the elevator just jerks. And I stand in front of him. I'm like, "Look, motherfucker, we're not." And he's like, and so pretty much, yeah, it ended up being a situation. I ended up calling the police, and yeah, I didn't get in too much trouble, but. Yeah, the effects of alcohol.
So, like, we did an event in Washington where our snow quality grenade games, like 2000. I don't even know anymore. Probably 2008 or 9. And we had the W Hotel, and then there was a secondary hotel, and that secondary hotel was also a convention for the FBI.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was in the same hotel with us, and it did not work out.
All right. Awesome, Luke. Thank you. We appreciate you being on the Happy Hour podcast.
Yes,
We're going to go ahead and end the Facebook Live thing, and we will see you later.